kind of tasted that stuff.
You guys won that game just winning one half.
Yes, I think we were like 2 of 8 or something. Yeah, something like that. Ran for 1,000,000 yards.
Now, how did you get connected back with Mike for this season?
A number of ways. Obviously Coach Gundy was here when I was here last time, so we mildly stayed in touch, not a whole lot, but a little bit. I knew Josh Henson, the O-line coach. Been around with Casey Dunn just through other people that we both know, mutual contacts. I worked with Jason McIndoe at Montana State, so it's funny how things play around like that, and obviously through Todd Monken also, who's connected to this place, and I've worked for him. So there's a bunch of random connections that led to this.
So your familiarity with staff and what you guys want to do is pretty good for a new coach.
Yes. A lot of the terminology is the same. What I've been doing the last 4 years. So there's a lot of carryover to what we've done and what I'm familiar with, and so that's been good. That's made the transition a little smoother.
I don't know how often you've been back to Stillwater since your year here, but I imagine this all looks a lot different.
None of this was here.
Yeah.
So I've been back here once. I think I watched practice leading into the Fiesta Bowl that year, and so that was it. And so even this wasn't here yet, but that practice was on the game field. So I didn't really even see a lot of the facility then. So it's crazy. When I drove into town, I was like a little kid in a candy store. So just seeing how everything's changed, it was awesome. So.
How have you gotten to know your running backs so far?
Good. Yeah, it's going great. I like the guys. They're good dudes, good guys to be around. So I'm going to get them out to the house as soon as I get a house. So as soon as I get that figured out, that'll be much easier. So, but they're really good guys, easy to be around. That makes my job a lot easier.
The last time you coached running backs was at UAB?
Correct, UAB.
What is there a big difference in switching back to a different position?
Not really. I try to come at the game from an angle of really, understand the entire offense. You kind of have to do that as a coach. So there's not a lot of, differences or any of that. I just try to teach the guys the whole game, within the framework of the running back position. So it's gone well.
Have you had a chance to look at some of the guys who aren't here yet but are signed to play?
Yes, I watched them both, and I'm excited to get them here. Yeah, they're good-looking guys. I've talked with both of them, their families, and I can't wait to get them here. Yeah, those are 2 talented guys.
Gotcha. So this spring, you got these returning guys, but you got these youngsters who you think can make an impact.
Right.
How do you assess all this? Is it you just have to kind of take it day by day
and
measure progress?
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that yet. The freshmen will get here when they get here, and we'll crash course them this summer. And it's hard to come into the fall just absolutely having to count on freshmen anyway. So you just teach them what you can and figure it out. I doubt at this time last year anyone thought Justice Hill was going to run for 1,100 yards, right? So, but sometimes those things happen, and that's a bonus. So my job is to get these guys ready to play as best I can, and if the freshmen are able to help, that's great.
What's your best memory for your one season when you were back? Is there one game or one performance?
Yeah, probably that game at UCLA, just because it was my first game. Coming from Knox College, our stadium is called the Knox Bowl, and so I went from the Knox Bowl in 2003 to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, a little jump there.
Yeah, a little jump. So we went from, I don't know how many thousand were at that game, but my last game in the Knox Bowl was probably 600 people at most. So a little bit different, and that was really a neat deal for me.
You mentioned Monken. I mean, the couple years he spent here, he was a quote machine. We love talking to him. Great personality. Yep. Same way with you working for him. I mean, just the funnest guy to have in the locker room and the meeting rooms.
Oh yeah. No, he's a lot of fun to be around, but he's able to match that with a lot of detail and really holding guys accountable. So not a lot of fun to be around when my players screwed something up.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember, typing where you've been when you were hired, and you said you've never went from Knox to a year with Alabama. What coaches have sort of been your greatest influences or mentors over the years?
Obviously Coach Gundy, Les Miles, Todd Monken, Nick Saban, around Jimbo Fisher for a little bit, Rob Ash at Montana State. Andy Givens gave me my first job in coaching at Knox College, so it's a pretty good list. Neil Callaway at UAB meant a lot to me. Tommy West at Memphis. I mean, I've been really lucky, for a guy from Knox College to be able to do all this.
Does your family like Stillwater so far?
Yeah. My wife came up here last weekend. She loves it, so we're excited.
Jeff Carr's been a guy who's kind of tough to break through. His personality is real reserved. Have you been able to crack the code on Jeff?
No, I told him yesterday, right in the middle of a drill, I said my goal by the end of spring is get him to smile. So I haven't gotten there yet. This is day 5 though, so I got 10 days left of spring ball to get him to smile out here. So pretty soon.
What are your impressions of Jeff?
He's done a really good job. Yeah, he's had a good spring so far through 4 practices. We start getting the pads on more now, so I'll know more now coming up than I do at this point. It's hard. I always have a hard time evaluating those guys without pads on.
Yeah.
Running backs, because until the lights come on and you start hitting them a little bit and they got to break tackles and hold on to the ball and contact those things, it's hard to know. But watching him move around, run around, his attitude's been great. So